My dream for the future is that by using biomarkers, we will be able to correctly diagnose each of the different diseases in the brain leading to dementia, because then we will be able to develop therapies for each of these individual diseases.
When Philip did his PhD thesis, this is the same time that MRI was becoming into fashion and was being used for Alzheimer's diagnosis. And what he did was really visionary in my opinion. He developed a visual rating scale, which was really fundamental science back then, but was also easy to use in clinical practice.
Nowadays, 2018, all over the world, this scale is being used. And people know me all over the world because of the Scheltens scale. Nobody can pronounce it really well, Scheltens, but okay. So everywhere I come, people say, yeah, I know you, because the scale we use for the assessment of the MRI scans is your scale. And this was never really my aim at that time. We just needed a tool to improve and to work with our scientific questions at that time.
In Philip's vision, patient care and research should go hand in hand. And to come ultimately to a world where there are treatments for Alzheimer's disease that work, we do have to perform research. And we ask all our patients to help us to solve Alzheimer's by sharing their medical data with us and give us the opportunity to perform research questions with those data. And altogether, these patients form the Amsterdam dementia cohort. And we help them by trying to solve Alzheimer's disease, but they help us to achieve this goal.
Later on, I developed more scales for MRI, and also PET came along, CSF came along, lumbar punctures. And our aim, my aim has always been, what is this really sort of helping? How is this helping the clinician? And how can this benefit diagnosis in real life?
In the first decade of the new millennium, many countries in the world came up with national plans for dementia. For example, France, but also Germany, Australia, the States. And Philip noticed that the Netherlands was lagging behind. And actually to combat this situation, he organized government and industry and academia to work together and come up with a plan for dementia in the Netherlands. And he called this the Delta Plan Dementia. That when I think back to 10 years ago, we didn't even know how to diagnose this disease, and now we do. And a diagnosis, an accurate diagnosis, is a prerequisite to finally find treatment, because if you don't have a diagnosis, how could you ever find a treatment?
So what I enjoy most in my work is that I'm able to combine several aspects of my work. I do patient care, I do research. I can actually work with very young people, the PhD students and the senior researchers. I do teaching, I travel the world, I speak with companies. I'm really trying to develop new therapies with companies, so it's a broad spectrum and never a dull moment.
The other thing which I think is really important, it could not be underestimated, is that he has really helped to put Alzheimer's on the floor, to get it in the media attention and make sure that people realize what a huge disease this is and that we just simply cannot sit back and wait. And that is something that Philip would never do, sit back and wait.